What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, today's video is going to be a perfect example on why Call of Duty cannot find any success when it comes to, well, Warzone 2 and also obviously multiplayer as well. I can see the positives out of this overall situation. You know, it's not completely bad, but there's a lot to expose on why this is not the way to go about things. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy what you hear in today's video, if you enjoy FPS content or anything of that sort, then by all means, don't forget we are on the grind to 50,000 subscribers, and every single subscription means the absolute world to me. And you can also hit the bell notification button if you want to be notified on all of my recent uploads. We upload pretty much daily on this channel. And last but not least, if you do want to catch any of my live streams, we will be live on Twitch today, but I also stream on Kick. We kind of switch it back and forth, but regardless, you can find all the links to pretty much every one of my socials down in the description of this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now in just a minute here, I'm going to be going ahead and showcasing to you guys a clip. It won't be too long, about maybe a little more than a minute, but don't worry, every last second of this clip is going to be extremely useful for you guys and very informative because, like I said, it is single-handedly going to expose why Call of Duty is having such a hard time, why they are struggling as basically all the development teams across the board with bringing this franchise back to life. Whether you are a multiplayer fan or if you're new to the franchise and you play Call of Duty for Warzone, at the end of the day, we can all agree that COD is in a very bad spot right now. And this is exactly why right here.
Oh, I still want to talk. I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked all over. So I will say somebody from the from Activision did message me in, like, I'm not gonna say who, but they did message me and say, you know, like, oh, well, like, what are a list of things you would like to see in the future? Yada, yada, yada. And they were like, we would love to have a list from you. Like, please send it. And, you know, send it like ASAP. Like, we want to know. So I am appreciative that they messaged me, and I'm going to make a list for them tonight of stuff that I would like to see in the future of Warzone. And I'm going to send this list knowing that, like, telling myself, okay, this is just like help for them, and do not expect this or any of it to like even be a part of the game at all or soon. But I am gonna give my, you know, my list of things I would like to see, and I'm gonna just send it.
For anybody who doesn't know who this individual is, because of course, you know, I'm in the same boat, obviously, you know, I mostly watch a bunch of commentary channels, so to each their own on the type of content that you enjoy. But if you're like me and you haven't really watched too much gameplay channels of Call of Duty, Aiden is one of the top dog. I'll say the top dogs when it comes to Warzone. Okay, I mean, the amount of views, the amount of popularity that he has gained is absolutely insane. So yeah, you know, he is one of the people that Activision 1010% want to make sure that he stays in the content scene, making content for Call of Duty to make sure that they can keep pumping out cash from everybody's pockets. Now, of course, if listening to this clip, you're going to think it's good, right? Obviously, a lot of people are going to think it's good because we're going to be saying, oh, they're communicating. They're finally communicating. And it's no hate at all going towards Aiden, you know, clearly, no hate at all. The point that I'm trying to make here is who the developers and who Activision prioritize when it comes to fixing up the game. Again, we talked about Aiden a little while ago, how when he left the Warzone scene, they started to, you know, make a bunch of fixes to Warzone itself. I mean, instantly, within a week, they were already plopping stuff into the experience, but we did not know behind the scenes they went as far as contacting him to make sure they can get one-on-one time with this individual, to go ahead and get a very specific list from this person about what needs to be improved, what needs to be changed with the overall game. Now, I guess we can look at this as a good thing in certain ways, right? Before I get to the negatives, we can see this as a positive because this means Activision is scrambling. They do see that, you know, they're failing a bit here, and obviously they're not publicly letting us know that they're failing and stuff like that. They're not publicly apologizing for what they did and saying they're going to rearrange stuff. No, they're hiding it. But behind the scenes, if they're that desperate and they want people to send, you know, lists of what they can improve, what they can change as fast as possible pronto, then clearly something is going on behind the scenes, and Activision isn't completely pleased with the player counts that they're pulling in when it comes to Warzone 2. And I guess the overall game of Call of Duty as well. So I guess there are positives. But at the end of the day, like I said, this right here proves the direction that these people are pushing. And it's not the direction that will bring any success to COD. Again, you know, Aiden could come up with 1,000,001 different things that are fantastic to improve the overall Warzone experience. But at the end of the day, the way that you improve your game is by including everybody. everybody in the community, not just the top dogs, not just people who bring in the most, players, I guess, the most viewers, but taking in everybody's feedback. Why are these developers, why are these people at Activision not online? Why are they not on Twitter, Reddit, Discord, posting, talking, discussing? I understand it's an extremely toxic environment, but that's why they hire individuals specifically for this job. There's literally jobs for community management. It is your job to deal with toxic communities, filter out all the bullcrap, and bring in the best feedback. That's the whole purpose. And that is the only way. That is the only way that you will ever see any success in any type of game like this, because taking feedback specifically like this is good and all. It will. Trust me, it will bring in a decent amount of players, and, it will make these content creators happy, which means they'll have better, reviews, which means more people will probably cough up money. But at the end of the day, you want everyone's opinion. Call of Duty is a huge franchise. And we need to make sure that everybody's voices are at least heard. And our voices are everywhere. They're not just, within one individual. If Activision has come to me, if I was a freaking massive content creator and Activision came to me and said, JB, we want you to write a list out and, tell us what to do. Obviously, just like Aiden, I probably would, right? But at the end of the day, it wouldn't be right. I would still have the same exact opinion how the overall situation's going, because I'm no genius. I don't know everything about COD. I have my own opinions about COD, obviously, just like each and every one of you guys have your own opinion about COD, which way you think the direction should go, the pacing of the game, the type of scenery in the game, everything. We all have opinions in COD. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. And that right there, that is the reason why they need to open this up. This closed, exclusive communication is going to be the death of this franchise, and they need to understand that if they want to get good improvements, they need to be able to be open with their overall community. I always use XDefiant as an example, but it's a perfect example. I played that beta the whole time, and the head developer literally would not stop talking with each and every person in that community. Whether you're a content creator, big or small, whether you're just, some casual person who just wants to hop on and play some games. Maybe you only play games once every month, and you still wanted to give your opinion about the game. He would respond to everybody. You didn't need a status, some type of status to be able to, give your input, give your feedback about a game. No, if you enjoyed playing video games, you could give your feedback and it will be heard. Do you want to know why XDefiant is getting so much love right now? Because of that exact reason. And they take all of the collective communication, all the collective feedback, and implement it into one game. Again, like I said, yeah, obviously it's going to be rough to, cycle through all that stuff and figure out what people want, but you can get an overall idea of where your community wants you to go. You can make the foundation, you can make the core of the game, you can, do all this stuff. Like XDefiant isn't exactly like COD, obviously, but at the end of the day, there's fundamentals like the skill-based matchmaking. Us not wanting skill-based matchmaking, they could have had it in the game, but they said because the community preferred it off, they're keeping it off. Little things like that, things like that are chosen by the community when it comes to XDefiant. Call of Duty, we don't get those choices. Those choices go exclusively to the top tier content creators. And it's funny because even Aiden says in this, in this little clip here later on, I didn't show the whole clip, but later on, he said he's not even going to keep his expectations high about it. It's no point. Even with his pull, even with the amount of people that he can influence, he knows that at that point, he could still put out this list, even though they're coming to him 1v1. They want his personal input. Even if he goes through the work of doing it, there is like a 99.9% chance that all of the feedback will not be heard. It won't be implemented into the game. And if it does get implemented, it probably won't be anytime soon. More than likely, it'll be with the next game that launches for Warzone, because that's how Call of Duty works. So even at the top, tippity top level, it doesn't even matter what they say. This is why COD is on a downward spiral. And I thought it was extremely important to showcase this to you guys because, again, I can't emphasize this enough. And people think it's an absolute joke, but it's not. Communication is key when it comes to the success of any game out there. You've watched Battlefield 2042 do a huge turnaround. Might not be the best game out there. Definitely not the best Battlefield game. But is it a playable game now? Is it fun? Can people enjoy it? Yes. And it's all because they're listening to the community. Same thing with XDefiant. Like I said, fantastic game. It has its problems. It has its issues. But at the end of the day, as long as they continuously polish it off, The direction of that game is going to be insane because they take all of our feedback, implement it into the game, and give us exactly what we want. Exactly what we want. If COD did the same thing, we will be on that direct boat. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor. Go down in the comment section and leave your opinions down below. Do you guys think it's a good idea that the developers in Activision prioritize higher top tier content creators with information? Or, like I said, do you agree with me and think that everybody should be included? It has obviously been proven that it's not that hard. Like I said, X-Defiant had millions of people playing that game in a closed beta. Not even open beta, a closed beta. And those developers were still able to communicate so much with all of those people to figure out and fine-tune and make sure that game came out polished and fun. You're telling me that COD can't do the same thing? I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't subscribe and that notification button. Also, chat me this too. We do still have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games, do over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.